what were the most important metrics that you have paid attention to and that had an impact?
So I think in terms of working qualified specs, I think our ratios are looking at how qualified the spec is, how qualified the candidate is, looking at getting candidates in front of clients, and then obviously within each of those, there's steps. So we get times from clients so that we get the exclusivity from clients. There's lots of different ratios. Also what we've done is we've increased our fees. So that's also been very good this year. So the matrix are obviously the referrals. So sending out CVs, how many CVs do we send to get a referral? How many referrals to placements? So there's all those referrals that we look at, and then obviously we break them down to how many our placement ratios. So how big is our placement? How many placements are we making per month? What is our average placement fee? So that's also something we're focusing on, is getting our placement fees up. Because again, we're working this year, our placement fee has gone up so that you can start working bigger placement fees. So those are all the different things that we're assessing and that we're looking at.
Love
and that's
that.
gone up this year as well. Again, we're doing less referrals and we're making more placements. And our placement fee, like I said, has gone up.
Now, just to clarify the terminology, when you say referral, does that mean introducing a candidate to a client?
Yes.
So is that a South African term or?
Yes, it's a South African term.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So some people in the States, people call that a send out, where you're arranging an interview for with a client, or but referral. I like that. It makes sense. You're referring the candidate to the client.
Okay, so we actually, technically, the right way is referral is when you receive the interview. The send out is actually when they go. But in our business, we've just called it a referral and we've just kept it a referral. So if they don't go, then we just take it off our stats.
Got it. Okay, so the send out, yeah, you're right. The send out is the interview, but the referral is introducing the client, the candidate and the client in submission or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. And then what I love about all those metrics that you're looking at, Melanie, is that people don't realize how big of an impact small improvements can make when you combine them together. So if you can increase your average fee, if you can improve the number of referred candidates who get an interview, and you just can make small increases across a number of those metrics, the sort of compound effect of all those improvements is significant. And the beauty of it is, you're not working harder. You mentioned this earlier, working smarter rather than harder. You're doing the same number of hours. You're working physically the same amount, but you're getting a much greater return because you've analyzed your numbers, you've identified areas that can be improved, and you've worked on making those improvements, and the results can be astonishing. So that's super cool. Did you have something else you wanted to add?
Yeah, it's just on the fees. When we originally started this year with the course and it was mentioned increase your fees, a little part of me thought, oh, it's not feasible. We just submit our fees at a higher rate now and we don't get questioned. Sometimes we do. Of course, we're going to get questioned sometimes, but I would say 7 out of 10 clients are happy to go with it. And here we were all this time putting it at a lower rate because that's what we thought other agencies were charging. So, that's been a massive win for us. Again, it's just far more efficient and clients are happy to pay that. They're not questioning it. Obviously, where they want to negotiate, we do, and we look at it and, are we exclusive, and we negotiate on certain terms. But yes, it's good to ask bigger questions. It's good to ask for exclusivity. And if you're not asking the questions, you're not getting better results.
I love it. And so what you're referring to is an exercise that we do with all our clients when we first connect, and we call it Terms of Business Booster. And the objective is to increase your average fee percentage. And people are always scared to do it because they believe in their mind, like, oh, my clients aren't going to agree to that, or it's very competitive. I don't want to charge too much and lose the business. We have all these mental barriers, don't we, to why it won't work and why it's risky. And we, encourage and coach people to try it, right? Because what have you got to lose? Worst case scenario is you go back to what your, original fee was. But we've done this with hundreds of recruiting firms now. And what we find is almost always people are able to increase their average fee percentage. And with the exact same number of placements, the same amount of effort, they're making more money. And that doesn't mean that you never get pushback. Of course, every market is price sensitive. That's the other thing, Melanie, is that everyone believes that their market is uniquely difficult, more price sensitive, more competitive. So whether it's in South Africa, whether it's in New York, whether it's here in Scotland, whether it's in London, and in any market, whether it's construction or sales or software or financial services or accounting, every recruiter thinks, I can't increase my fee, it's too competitive. And yet we've proven over and over again that you can. And it's about, asking, number one, the question, and if required, making the case for why the fee is what it is. But surprisingly, often you don't even get questioned on it.
Agreed.
It's quite amazing. So for our listeners, we have a whole workshop on this. I'm not going to get into that now, but set yourself the goal of increasing your fee, because if you're in every marketplace, there's a range of prices, right? There's the cheap ones and there's the premium, like most expensive ones. Where are you on that spectrum right now? I would suggest that if you deliver an extremely high quality service that is just as good, if not better, to your competitors, why shouldn't you be positioned at the top end of that range and be a premium provider rather than like one of the, cost-effective providers? If you believe in your service, then you should price it accordingly. And the corollary to that is sometimes undercharging reflects in the client's perception. They're going to perceive that as you're not the quality or the high end of the market, right? Clients expect to, we all think you get what you pay for. And so if you price your fees too low, what message does that send to the market? So